Hey guys, this is Abhishek here. Today we are not gonna do the general Mern coding video which we do, but today we're just going to, I'm going to show you how to contribute to open source. It's not gonna be a big video. I hope it's not gonna be a big video. It shouldn't be, because we'll just be installing a normal package from npm, and we'll just copy some of the text which is there. Now, having said that, this is one of my repository, and this is the next project which I'll be working in. It's just a Twitter bot which would it would do a bunch of stuff at the moment. I don't have a basic structure set up. Once the file structure and all of that is set up, I can focus on it properly. So whenever you go to a repository, basically this is a repository. A repository is where the code is stored. Now, obviously, I'm going to be adding a few new things. I cannot explain all of them. If you have any doubts, you can visit my website or just comment. So whenever there is an open source project which is going on, generally there are issues that need to be solved. So I had created some issues right here. If you click on it, you'll be redirected to another page which shows there are certain issues which are there. Now, generally there are some labels which are given on, like good first issue, help wanted. Then a lot of different editable labels are also there, which show the kind of issue that it is. Now, generally, good first issue is, well, as it sounds, a good first issue. I'm not gonna do this because I have left it for someone else. It's just a very normal change to do. Basically, I'm teaching someone to contribute to open source, and I want them to make their first pull request. And I will go about pull requests in a bit. But yeah, let's just put that up. Now, as you can see, we have a package.json. What this requires is just to change something here. I'm not going to show it because it's given there. All the instructions are given. What I am going to show is how to push your code online. Now, generally, the rule of thumb is to fork a repository, and I have unforked to some other repository, and then you clone that. Actually, it should have been easier to explain it using another, I don't know, another, let's say, contributor. But yeah, so this is how we'll be working right now. Maybe in future I can show how I contribute to a particular project so that it's going to be easier for people to get. Anyway, let's not waste any time. Let's just solve an issue. We are going to install Twit and configure it. Generally, there are some information given there by the owner, the maintainer, or the member. We just, I just referenced the issue number 3, which goes and says that we have to give access keys. Now, the access keys are something using which we are going to manipulate Twitter API. Obviously, I'm not going to show them right now. So let's just install Twit and push our code online. Now, before doing that, I'm going to create a .git ignore file, right? Because I don't want node modules to be coming up. to be pushed into the repository, because I really don't need node modules. Hence why I have that. That, that hence why there is no package manager. Now let's just go and do an npm I. I stands for install twit -- save. Oh yeah, I typed it right. Let's just hope that it's installed here. In our well, there's the dependency, which is just given basically. Now, what I wanted to do was I am going to, in the config.js, probably this will configure the bot, and this would have the logic of the bot. I'm not going to go with config.js because here we'll have a module.export. Wait, I'm going to show you the exports, and we are going to export this bit, the consumer keys and all of this, so that we can reference it in someplace else. And what it does is it helps us to not upload the consumer keys in open source. And basically, we can add config.js to Git Ignore as well. So when we push our code, it won't be added in our open repository. Now, I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to go with var t equals new. No, sorry, not new. Require. I guess that's how it's going to work. Yeah, there we go. Twit. We should name it twit. This is the normal rule of thumb. You can name it whatever you want. Okay, I cannot run this. Well, basically I can, but I'm not going to, because that needs to be referenced by someone else. I can run a node. Well, I definitely can. Let's go with node.js, and I hope that there are no errors. When I do this, there are no errors. So, well, we have a required twit inside it. Now, as far as configuration goes, I'm not going to configure it because I don't want to show off my my customer keys and all of that. So once we make changes and once we are sure that we have fixed an issue in our code, what we do is we check what are the files that we have changed, and these are the files we have changed. Now, generally, the rule of thumb is that package.lock is a tree-like structure, which basically arranges all the node modules. So that has to be pushed up. We're going to add everything. That is what this dot does, is that it adds all of these files. Now, when we do a git status, you see that all of the files are added to the staging area. Now, what we do is we do a git commit, and let's just say that I've installed it. I haven't configured it, so I'm just going to do this. Okay. Sure, all of these are because of package.lock.json. Now, what I'm going to do is do a git push -u origin master. Now, what it does, this is not required generally. Sorry. What it does is our repository, which is this array underscore irctc, is the origin, and we are pushing it onto the master branch. Or maybe I have the other. Yeah, sorry. I'm so sorry. The origin is this guy, this repository, and the master is the branch which we are in right now. When we do that, it's going to push the changes. And you see that probably this would change to 4 commits. There we go. It's 4. We haven't added the npm module. And I'm not going to close this issue because I haven't configured it. I'm going to close it after I've configured it. And that will be done only after this is added. Generally, when you fork a repository, there's something called a pull request that appears right here. What it does is that it asks me, in this case, the owner or the developer of the project, to check the code that has been pushed and to merge it with the main repository, so that the contribution is taken to be valid. So that's how we contribute to open source. Obviously, this is just a simple application, so we didn't have to do a lot of the stuff. But there are other applications which require a lot of, well, it is complex. So that's about it. This is me signing off. And if you have any doubts, ask in the comments. If you have, or get in touch with me. Okay. Thank you. Peace out.